Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're going to explore something that can feel a bit, a bit uncomfortable sometimes.
Solitude.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Solitude, or as it's called in the source material we're looking at. Choice. We've got some really interesting pieces from an Arabic podcast.
Which translates roughly to a moment of clarity episode, solitude and its secrets.
Right. And look, we know solitude can be a bit of a scary idea for a lot of people.
Definitely.
So our mission today really is to unpack what this source tells us about why we fear being alone and maybe more importantly, how it suggests solitude could actually be, well, liberating, a path to growth.
It's true. That word solitude often just conjures up, loneliness, being cut off.
Yeah.
And the source jumps right into that feeling, that sense of returning only to yourself, the quiet, no one else there.
No friend, no partner,
Right.
no audience, I guess.
Right. No one to distract you or validate you. It's a very real human thing to feel uneasy with that.
And our first reaction is usually to fill that space up, isn't it?
Instantly. Grab the phone, flick on the TV, call someone.
Anything but the quiet. And the source acknowledges that. It says, fearing Salise isn't strange. We're wired for connection.
Exactly. But this is where it gets interesting. The source makes a really key distinction.
Okay.
It talks about solitude that's kind of forced on you, maybe through loss, or just circumstances you didn't choose.
Right, that makes sense.
Versus a different kind, the solitude you actively choose.
Choosing it, that feels backwards, almost.
Yeah.
Why choose something that feels uncomfortable?
Well, the source suggests it's less about avoiding other people and more about needing some internal quiet.
Okay.
Choosing it so you can actually listen to what's going on inside.
Yeah.
Hearing that call from your soul, maybe. The stuff that usually gets drowned out.
Drowned out by, like, daily life, all the noise.
Yeah, all the external interactions, the demands.
So it's not just putting up with being alone. It's more like seeking something in the aloneness. But
Right.
what's there to find?
Precisely. That's the core idea. The source proposes that if you choose some isolation, even just for a short time, you can discover things about yourself you just can't see or hear otherwise, when you're always surrounded, always defined by who you're with.
What kind of things?
It's about hearing that quiet inner voice, the one that maybe whispers, I am here, or, you don't actually need anyone else to feel complete.
You are enough.
Yeah.
You are enough.
That's a really powerful thought. And honestly, one a lot of us probably struggle with, especially when we are alone.
Oh, absolutely. The source doesn't sugarcoat it. It says facing that inner space, that quiet, what might feel like emptiness at first. It can be really hard.
It takes courage, it says.
It does.
Yeah.
Real courage to walk into that space. But here's the bold claim it makes.
Okay.
Anyone who dares to step into that chosen solitude, who really sits with themselves, they don't come back the same. They're transformed.
Transformed just by being alone. That sounds like the secret the title mentions. What is the transformation? What's the secret? Okay, so the secret the source reveals is, it's quite beautiful actually. Chosen solitude teaches you not to tie your happiness only to other people or to external things.
Right, not being dependent on validation from outside.
Exactly. It teaches you how to simply be with yourself and, crucially, how to be at peace with yourself. Learning to fill your own cup, so to speak. Finding worth from within.
So the liberation, the growth, it comes from facing solitude, not running from it. Finding that self-sufficiency inside.
That's the shift in perspective the source is really pushing for. It reframes solitude not as this dead end we dread, but as a potential starting point, a place for really deep self-discovery and finding, inner peace.
So thinking about all this, the source kind of leaves us with some questions to ponder, doesn't it?
It does. Direct questions for you, the listener.
Like, when did you last just sit with yourself? Properly sit, no distractions.
When were you last truly comfortable just being?
And maybe the big one. Do you fear your solitude? Do you run from it the second it shows up?
And maybe consider this angle from the source. What if that solitude isn't a punishment, not a void? What if it's actually an invitation?
An invitation, like a call to come home.
Yeah.
To yourself.
Yes. That's the powerful final idea, I think. It's not necessarily about ending connections with others. It might be the start of a deeper connection with your own self.
Finding that quiet strength inside. And, if you're feeling that, say now, or if this all sounds really challenging, the source offers one last piece of advice.
Be gentle with yourself.
Yeah. Be gentle. Take your own hand, metaphorically.
Take a step towards that inner light, toward that core self that the source assures us is enough. all on its own.